Hi, I'm Stephen Feinberg, Executive Director of the Rhode Island Film and Television Office. Tonight we have a special program. We're going to discuss the upcoming 42nd Annual Rhode Island International Film Festival with its outstanding programmer, Executive Director, Shawn Quirk. Welcome, Shawn, to Double Feature.
Thanks for having me, Stephen. Happy to be here.
This is great. This is always like the fun time of the year, August. We've got the Rhode Island International Film Festival kicking off August 6th, Tuesday night, and it goes until the 11th, right?
Yes, it does. We'll be kicking off a PPAC.
Yeah.
And we'll be screening films throughout the week at the Vets, RISD Museum. We'll even be at the Odeum,
in East Greenwich,
and the Avon.
Wow. And
the United Theater in Westerly.
Oh, wow. And how many films are usually submitted in a year to you guys?
It goes up every year. This past year, we had over 7,000 entries. 7,000
entries. And you pick, what, 250 out of those 7,000?
Just about.
Wow.
Right on the mark. Yep.
And most of these films, if I'm correct, are world premieres, right? These are films that have not been seen before. Is that?
Most of them, yeah. That's the goal, to have as many world premieres as possible.
Now, it's really important that the audience understands. The Rhode Island International Film Festival, it's in its 42nd year, right? It is Academy Award sanctioned. BAFTA, the British Academy Award, also sanctions it. And isn't there another?
There's the Canadian Screen Awards, and we also are a qualifier for the Goya Awards,
wow,
which is the Spanish Oscars.
Wow, okay. That's what makes this, one of the things that makes this probably one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world. The fact that you know, a short film in the live action category, animated category, can usually get an Oscar nomination because it premiered at the Rhode Island International Film Festival, right?
We've had plenty.
We had plenty.
Over 80 nominations.
Wow.
And 12 wins.
12 wins.
Over the years.
Now, one of my favorite stories is a film that was done a few years ago. It came from England, and it was a movie called Silent Child, right? And it was the actress and the director. I think they didn't they end up getting married?
They did.
They got married. Well, their journey came from England. Their first port of call was Flickers and the Rhode Island International Film Festival. Why don't we show the audience what their journey was like?
And now, here are the nominees for Best Live Action Short Film. DeKalb Elementary, The 11 O'Clock, My Nephew Emmett, The Silent Child.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
We just want to say the biggest thank you to Rhode Island. Without you guys, we actually wouldn't be here right now. So Rhode Island has the biggest heart, and we're so grateful to have been, you know, part of your festival. Maisie's actually not with us. She's busy being a star and filming and so yeah, thank you so much. And hi to everyone on RIIFF Red Carpet.
Hello. Thank you so much, Rhode Island. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Chris Overton and this is Rachel Shenton.
I'm the writer, Chris is the director of a short film called The Silent Child.
And this time last year we had our world premiere at this very festival, at this very venue, and I think we were sat right at the front towards the right.
And we were so over the moon to be selected for the festival. It was the first one we'd ever been to, so we couldn't believe it when we won Grand Jury Prize for Best Live Action Short Film, which obviously qualified us to submit our stuff to the Oscars.
And then December last year, we didn't really think anything more of it, but then we were shortlisted for an Oscar. And then in January 23rd, we were nominated for an Oscar, which meant we could fly out, go to the Oscars luncheon and the actual Oscars, and we met some of our heroes like Steven Spielberg and Aaron Sorkin.
And on March the 4th, we won the Academy Award for Best Live Action Short Film, which still feels totally bonkers.
And honestly, we really wouldn't have done it without RIIFF. You know, they've got such big hearts, so thank you to you guys. And we're genuinely really jealous of all of you that are about to embark on this week, because for us it was one of the best weeks of our life.
It was. So just huge congratulations to everybody for being selected. Enjoy it, take it all in, and a huge amount of good luck from us.
Wasn't that? Yep. It's an amazing, really an amazing, just whole entire journey. They were so nice to document the entire experience,
Yep.
which is lovely.
They met Steven Spielberg and all these folks, and again, what was so cool is their first experience was the Rhode Island International Film Festival, and it showed at PPAC, and everybody loved it. It won the grand prize.
It did.
And boom! Now, I love that. That's a Cinderella story if there ever was one.
And they've gone on since then to create a whole production company.
Wow.
Called Slick Films, and every year they're producing short films and as well as feature films, and they're really doing a great job to just moving on to the next chapter and making a lot of great new work. And it's all because of the Oscar that's really opened the door for them.
Sure. And that's not only an inspiration for all of the filmmakers, because again, it was a first-time experience, right? But it's also something that helps boost the enthusiasm for the audience of the Rhode Island International Film Festival. Like when we see these movies, and you're the curator of these films, you always make great selections. So we're seeing the best of the best, and they haven't been seen anywhere. Most of them haven't been seen before.
And it's really, and it's an amazing process because it's picking the films, but then putting them together. It's just like creating this collage of different choices, as we see on Double Feature every week. So it's just a fun process, and it's great to see how the films interact with the audience and how the filmmakers connect. Because a lot of times the filmmakers will connect with one another based on the films that play with their block.
Right.
So in a lot of ways, we're bringing these artists together in a very unique way through the programming as well.
You're almost like a composer of an orchestra. I mean, you're saying, I'm plucking in, I'm doing a short animated film. Here's a thriller. Here's a drama. Here's a comedy. So that opening night audience at PPAC this year, the Providence Performing Arts Center on August 6th, Tuesday night. And again, there's like 3,500 seats available for viewing. We get wowed and laugh together, and sometimes we get choked up together, and it's neat.
Opening night, as well as all the presentations, especially and with the short packages, we try to really make sure they're a reflection of the entire submission pool. So every time you go see a short screening at the RIIFF, it's really a mix of a lot of different things. You may get a short animation, short documentary, as well as a great combination of dramas and comedies, and
sometimes it just makes you feel good.
Exactly.
One of the movies that I loved way back when was directed by a gentleman named John Williams, not the composer, but he was from England, and it was called Hibernation. And it was a movie that I loved, and honestly, it was one of those few experiences, and I told this to George Marshall, who was alive at the time. It took my breath away, and I don't know why it resonated with me so much. It was a short film. I didn't want to see anything else because I didn't want it to cloud my memory of this movie. But can you share any of the movies that you have? Do you know what movies are going to be opening for opening night, or a few of them? I'm sure you have flexibility because we're still
finalizing things over the coming days, but we have some key short films that in general are going to be key hits for the festival that we're really looking forward to showing with everyone. One of them is Gordy, which is going to be a coming-of-age film about a young boy in France he's corresponding with his mother in Oregon, supposedly, but we later find out that she's...
Don't give it away.
She's just trying to, make another perspective a little bit easier for him to process. So we learn about it's a wonderful coming of age story, and it's very well done, and it alludes to a lot of great parts of earlier cinema.
And it's Gordy, and it's
called
from.
Gordy.
Is it from France?
It's from France.
Okay, great. And what else do you have coming?
We have a fun fun live-action short film about a bank heist, bank robbery.
Okay.
And it's 2 minutes.
Yep.
It's about these two brothers, and they have 2 minutes to do this bank heist, and one goes in, and as they go in, their grandmother comes to the car and is asking why they haven't been visiting her.
Sounds
She
great.
gets in the car,
Oh.
and they don't want to kick their grandma out of the car when they come back with the heist money. So they're in this predicament.
And that's it's a 2-minute animated film.
It's a live action.
Live action, okay.
But we have this animated short film called Atomic Chicken.
Okay.
It's all about these chickens on a chicken farm right next to a nuclear power plant.
Okay.
And some
Hijinks
radiation
ensue.
comes in, and some mutations develop. But it's really fun. It's a fun take on just what you can do with an animated short.
Oh, that's fabulous. And then there's another cool thing that's happening on opening night. We have the Wurlitzer organ at PPAC, which is one of those original organs that would play during the silent movie days. And there's going to be a film shown with accompaniment on the Wurlitzer organ, right?
It's important to note that PPAC, we're very fortunate to have PPAC, which is originally a Lowe's movie theater.
Yes. It was one of what they called the palaces, the film palaces.
Gilded in gold.
Yep.
One of the Lowe's movie palaces, and they still have their theater organ.
Yep.
Which is how we all experienced movies in the 20s.
Right, right. The Charlie Chaplin and the Harold Lloyd and Buster Keaton and Douglas Fairbanks Sr., all those kind of movies. So tell us about the movie that's going to be playing with the organ accompaniment.
We're going to play The Red Balloon.
Yep.
Iconic French short film.
Yep.
And that'll be accompanied with the live organ music.
Oh, wonderful. And that's a really great cinematic experience. And great to show it in that palace. It's really a beautiful palace. And the folks that run it, Lynn Singleton and Alan Chilly and Janice Anderson, they do a phenomenal job over at PPAC.
They really do. And it's just it's amazing that they've been able to keep that organ alive, and they cherish it as well.
Right, and everything is top notch there.
Oh, everything they do. I mean, the shows, everything about that theater is phenomenal.
What time does the opening night start?
Opening night will start at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, August 6th.
Yep.
And then that'll run about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. And there might be a couple of awards being given that night as well, right? For the local,
We'll give a few
folks.
Producer Circle awards in the beginning.
Yep. And, there's another person who's a Rhode Islander who has had quite an impact on not only on the festival, but on worldwide audiences. And he's a big supporter of the Rhode Island International Film Festival. Our very own Peter Farrelly, Academy Award winner, who did The Green Book.
And it's important to note that we had the premiere of Something About Mary at one of our early festivals.
Yes. So why don't we listen to a few words from our friend Peter Farrelly.
Hi, I'm Pete Farrelly, and I want to welcome everybody tonight, my entire Rhode Island film family, to the Rhode Island Film Festival Oscar night. I want to thank Stephen Feinberg for putting this together with the help of George Marshall and Shawn Quirk. This is going to be a great event, and it's a great cause. The Rhode Island Film Festival is one of the most upcoming, growing film festivals in the country. In the last couple of years, we've debuted several Oscar winners. In fact, this year, 5 of the short film nominees debuted at the Rhode Island Film Festival. So you should all be proud. I'm also proud of my Rhode Island Film Festival family, starting with my brother Bobby and Michael Correnti and Michael Cerrone and Damien Chazelle, who a lot of you might not know, was born in Providence, who did La La Land and several other movies. He's a fantastic guy, and I'm grateful to be part of that group. Thank you all for coming tonight. Please give to the Rhode Island Film Festival. Without it, there wouldn't be guys like me. I appreciate it. Have a fun night.
Now, what a great guy, and what an endorsement. Having someone like Peter and his brother Bobby, to me, they are real gentlemen, and they never forget where they came from.
It's we're so fortunate to have such an iconic duo.
Yes, yes.
From our home state.
Now, you know, they're also great friends with Michael Correnti.
Yes.
Michael
They even did a film together.
Right. They did Outside Providence together. And that was based on Peter's book. And Michael directed it. Now, there's going to be a special encore screening of Michael's his debut film, Federal Hill. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, we'll be playing Federal Hill. It's a classic crime drama taking place in Providence.
Black and white.
Black and white. And just an incredible film. And we're also going to be showcasing the pilot for a new series that is, in a lot of ways, a continuation of the Federal Hill narrative. And it's all about, you know, it's dealing with Robert Kennedy and the whole you know, all the problems that ensued with the 1960s mafia.
Well, we had at that time Raymond Petriacca ran the New England mafia from Providence up on Federal Hill, and you had a couple of folks that worked in our government trying to infiltrate. And also trying to, they would record, use, you know, hide and get recording devices to hear about how they would bring in people into the mafia. And you've got a character who I think was one of the first that ends up going into the witness protection program as part of that story, and how they work to bring down the power of the mafia in Rhode Island and Federal Hill.
And both will be playing together as part of a special screening, and that'll be Wednesday night at the Showcase.
And Scott Kahn, I believe, is one of the stars of the pilot as well.
Yes.
James Caan's son, and Scott was in the TV series Hawaii Five-0. Do you know where that's going to be playing?
We'll be at the Showcase Cinemas, which is another one of our main venues that I have yet to mention.
Oh, Showcase Cinema in Providence.
In Providence, at the Providence at the mall.
Yep. Do you know what night Federal Hill's going to be playing?
That'll be Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
And will Michael be there?
Michael will be there.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's going to be exciting. That's a black and white film with is it John Turturro? One of the Turturro brothers is in that one.
Yeah. Yes.
Great. Can you tell us about some of the other films that you've got coming?
Well, Laura Colella is another icon of our Providence film culture, and we'll be screening her Tax Day, which is a film from the 90s her debut feature film. So we'll be showing retrospective of that film, as well as one of her new short films.
Excellent.
That will be premiering.
Excellent. And do you know where that will be?
That'll be at the Avon.
Avon, perfect.
Over the weekend. So that'll be it'll be either Friday or Saturday. The time will be finalized by tomorrow.
Yep.
So for those that go to our website, anything that we talk about in this hour, go to www.riifilmfest.org and you'll find a link to all the programming.
www.riifilmfest.org.
And from there, you're going to see all the screenings that we mentioned, and with the dates and times.
Now, folks can go to individual screenings, right? Or they can get weekly passes. Does it work like that?
Yes. So there's weekly passes available for $250,
yep,
which is reasonable.
Yep.
But then the daily screenings are $10 each.
Okay, and the screenings include like the opening night at the P-PAC and then all over Providence. And like you said, one of the films that I heard that you're going to do is a screening premiere of Chosen Family at the Odeum in East Greenwich. And that stars, it was written, I believe, and directed, and stars Heather Graham.
Yes.
Julia Stiles is also in that. Chad Verdi Sr. and Chad Verdi Jr. and Paul Luba produced it, I believe. And I was fortunate enough to go onto the set and see them working, and everybody was working in harmony, and I hear it's a beautiful film, and from what I saw, the shots I saw, it was fabulous. they were in Warwick where you know, it was beautiful, a beautiful home, and then they filmed on the water, and it'll be exciting to show that film in East Greenwich. So there's only 450 seats available, so we want to make sure folks attend.
And every screen, just to reinforce it, the opening night's $15, but everything throughout the week is $10 for every show.
Great, great. There's also, aside from the films, you also have some, like the Film Forum and ScriptBiz. Let's talk about, tell us what ScriptBiz is and who will be attending ScriptBiz.
ScriptBiz is a day-long screenplay workshop, and these are things that the additional things that the pass allows access to. So it's a day-long screenplay workshop where those that attend get to really have a very intimate dialogue with some key screenwriters in the industry to talk about the whole creative process of not just writing, but also producing, creating, finding the resources that you need to make the script into a film. And so there's a lot of different panels that we'll be featuring that are exploring various stages of the film production process.
And this is an all-day event.
All-day event, and one of our key speakers for that event is going to be Richard Stanley, who is an iconic cult filmmaker from the 90s. He did Dust Devil.
Yeah.
And he's doing a whole new series of films that are based on H.P. Lovecraft short stories.
Great.
His most recent one was Color Out of Space, which starred Nicolas Cage.
Excellent. And H.P. Lovecraft being a Providence boy, right?
Exactly.
so it's perfect.
And his goal is to film more of those films locally over
Beautiful.
time.
Well, hopefully he'll be in contact with the Rhode Island Film Office and get all of the appropriate, you know, tax credits and everything else so we can, and permits so we can provide. So ScriptBiz, does it start out with a breakfast, or what time does it start, or is it a lunch? How does it go?
It'll be a short breakfast at 9 o'clock with coffee and bagels and all that fun stuff, and then we'll have a working lunch later on, moving into the panel.
Yep.
And it's just a great way to get everyone together, and food's provided throughout, free coffee.
Yeah, and they're going to be talking about like structure, right?
Yes.
Screenwriting structure, building the characters, what the theme is, how to maybe rewriting scripts, and then how to get your script through the Hollywood maze, I would imagine.
Definitely. That's the thing that everyone is always looking to learn more about.
How am I going to get my script through the Hollywood maze?
And what we're learning, and what we're seeing more and more with everyone, is that the real key is in a lot of ways becoming your own producer. And so we talk about that.
Oh, that's going to be great. You know, I always said, and I made a living in Los Angeles as a screenwriter and filmmaker, and I always said, if you can grab the audience, because you have to always, a reader might get 10 scripts that they have to take home for the weekend. 10. And that they don't even want to read 1 or 2. They want to go out and play, but they have to read 10. That your script needs to grab them the first 10 pages so that they can't put it down, that they have to keep reading it, and that hopefully they'll respond to the rest of the script. So when they have their meeting on Monday when they're with their bosses, they can say, I read this and it was really special. So you want to make sure you grab that audience in those first 10 pages.
And when you think about it, I mean, first hearing that, some may think, oh, that's a gimmick or whatnot, but it's really just good writing. When you think of all the great books you've read, too, they keep your eye on the page, and it's all about that momentum and that flow.
Right, and you're competing.
Yes.
How can I make my script the undeniable one that is going to be recognized, that they have to bring that to their boss? They don't want to miss out, that someone else is reading the script in another company, but they want to make sure that they don't, you don't want your boss going, how come ABC Productions got this script? Did we get it? Yeah. Who read it? Shawn read it. You said it wasn't that good. They just paid $1 million. It's going to be a blockbuster, right? That's how it works.
Exactly. I find that when we go through these scripts, it's all about the pacing.
Yes.
100%, because every page they say is supposed to be about a minute.
Yep.
And so if you can read that script with a well-paced, and you can play the film out in your mind
Right.
in sync with,
Yes.
with what you're reading, then that's always a really good sign that the writing's on top notch.
Absolutely. We host Film Forum, the Rhode Island Film and TV office, which I love the Film Forum. That's on Thursday. And that's going to be at the Hotel Providence once again. And usually it's a really nice, not usually, it is again, going to be a really great breakfast. Eggs and bacon and sausage and pancakes or waffles, coffee and OJ. And then we have guests that come to the Film Forum. We have a series of guests. We have Chris Sparling, who's a phenomenal filmmaker and screenwriter, and he did the movie Greenland. I think there's a sequel now with that's going to be going on. He did Buried
With Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, which is a scary movie, which is fabulous. And he has done some writing for Leonardo DiCaprio and Warner Brothers. And Matthew McConaughey as well. So Chris is going to be there, and I'll be talking to him. And then you've helped us out by lining up some other folks.
We'll have Sharon Bedell, who's former director of Tribeca Film Festival.
Yep, Sharon Bedell, that's great.
And we'll have a whole panel devoted to women producers, directors.
Women in film, so
women
to
in
speak.
film.
Yep.
It's going to be a great, great day.
And, you know, this is something I always wanted to share with our audience. I want to share this with you, Shawn. I always share it with George. So sometimes we have like these little cocktail receptions or hangout. We find little places for some of the filmmakers to hang out. Now, many of, and this is, I think, something you should be so proud of. Many of these filmmakers who come to the United States from around the globe are coming here for the very first time. They've never been to America. And their first port of call is typically to this film festival in Providence, Rhode Island. It's based in Providence, Rhode Island. And they are ecstatic when they get here and enthusiastic and happy, and they have a great experience, and they get to commingle with other filmmakers from around the world as well as our local folks. And I think that is a wonderful testament to you and to the legacy of George Marshall and the Rhode Island International Film Festival, that you are driving these people to the United States of America for good, and their first port of call is Providence. And I hope you're proud of that.
Thanks, Stephen. And the goal and with us doing that is to help create this sustainable ecosystem where these international filmmakers are working with the locals to, you know, hopefully create partnerships. And we've seen that happen in the past, where they end up meeting folks from Rhode Island that they work with, and they make a film here, and it becomes this beautiful mutual connection that helps build a stronger and more thriving ecosystem here.
And we love it too. Sometimes they come and they say, Wes Anderson. A lot of them are Wes Anderson fans, right? Where did you? I think there was a filmmaker from France. Where do I find the Moonrise Kingdom home? And from Wes Anderson. And I remember giving like directions. And because we've had more and more films that are being made here, whether it's Hocus Pocus 2 or Moonrise Kingdom or The Gilded Age on HBO, we're able to let them see these locations and go on site, and then hopefully that helps percolate some of their own ideas and inspires them, because as I always say, Rhode Island's the smallest state with the greatest backlot, and we have so many diverse locations in close proximity. I hope that these folks can get around too to see different parts of Rhode Island.
And that's one of our motives too, with having venues in various parts of the state. Those that are not from here will get to explore.
Yep. How are you going to get some of the filmmakers to Westerly, as an example?
I mean, one idea. I mean, there's Ubers, of course, but there's also the train goes to Westerly, and it's actually very affordable.
Oh.
If anyone's taken a train from Westerly to Providence, it's only $15.
That's great.
Yeah.
How far is the theater from the train station?
It's right next door. Right.
That is
Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah. So it's walking distance.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a new theater. I was there when they opened it up, but I didn't realize how close it was to the train station. That's great.
So it's just that's just one way to get there, of course.
Right.
But there's plenty. I mean, it's not as far as we think sometimes, Westerly.
Right. No, the whole state's 48 miles long. Tell us about, there's a movie, what's it called? Porcelain
War.
Porcelain War. Tell us about that.
This is a film about the Ukraine War, very timely, but it's from a unique angle. It's about two artists that are caught in the midst of the conflict, and they take part by continuing their art through the war, but also, doing their best to be supportive.
And was the filmmaker Ukrainian?
Yes.
Wow.
Two Ukrainians. The artists are the filmmakers.
How many films did you get from Ukraine? Do you know?
Quite a few. We're still getting a lot of great productions from Ukraine, despite all the problems that they're facing.
Yeah.
So it's and that, as for other countries that are dealing with conflict, we still are getting a lot of work that's discussing about it, talking about it, and sometimes a lot of ways those are the most compelling works.
So yeah, I found
ironically, and it's terrible that they have to go through that.
But they're showing us parts of the world that we don't always see, or from a perspective.
And that's where the festival, I find, has the most importance in some regards, is that we're able to give a platform for those voices that really, really need to be heard.
Yes.
Voices that are sometimes dealing with life and death situations.
Like the Israeli-Palestinian situation. And can you tell us, share a couple of more of the animated films that you have coming?
Oh, we have another film that's dealing with coming of age of a young girl, and at first we feel it's just a typical coming of age, but then we also see that her mother recently passed, and so it becomes a more intimate view of things. But it has sometimes the best animations are the ones that are playing back and forth between the lighthearted and the more deep sentiments, and that nuance is sometimes
you know what one of my favorite movies was? Maybe we can just show a clip of it. A movie called The Present, animated film. You loved it, I loved it, George Marshall loved it.
It's an incredible short, and the animator ended up working for Pixar.
Come on. Well,
yes.
I can see that. I was just, and you know what I love about The Present? It is funny, touching, really great animation. And it was made by a German filmmaker, if I'm pretty correct, right?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
It
was his master's thesis film, actually.
Wow, unbelievable. Well, I think folks are going to love seeing The Present. Why don't we show them a clip of The Present?
Hey, sweetie. Sorry I got home so late, but I had to pick something up after work. It's such a beautiful day outside. You should let some sun inside. So, is better? Why don't you stop playing and open the present I got for you?
For me?
Hello? Oh, yes, sir. I don't know why you didn't get the papers. I put them on your desk before I left.
Okay. Whoa! Cool! She's gotta be kidding me. Get lost!
I just love that movie. It was so well told. It was so well done. There's so much emotion. If people will get an opportunity to watch the entire film, I know we've shown it on double feature. We better make sure we show it again. But it's a terrific film. What do you have under the live action any other films that you can showcase for our audience that are going to be playing the week April 6th through the 11th?
Oh, we have plenty of films that are dealing with all perspectives and new voices from all over. So it's really going to be an amazing collage of different perspectives, and some of those will be seen opening night, of course.
Yeah.
But it's really it's an incredible collection. It's a lot. So when you see the program, you'll be blown away.
250 films is
Yes.
a lot of films to choose from.
Of course.
Now, many of those films are going to be playing at the same time, right? So you could be, at the Vets, but then there's something that might be playing at the Avon at the same time. What do you do?
They compete with each other. And that's the whole point of any festival. So you have various venues playing different films for different audiences.
Yeah.
So, and they really are going to be appealing to different tastes. We'll have experimental films, for example, in a smaller venue. And we'll have, a lineup of comedy shorts maybe playing at the RISD Museum. So with a list of a package of documentary short films.
Oh, great.
Playing at AS220. So these various venues work with each other to complement one another.
Now, Shawn, I'm a horseman.
Yes, very much so.
I love horses. So are there any films about horses at all?
Yes, we have a film called How the West Was Won.
Like a play on the How the West Was Won, the Western movie?
Yes, it's ONE
instead of WON.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And it's directed by Razia Mibora.
Okay.
And she's also she's a cowgirl herself.
Oh, okay.
She's not only a horse rider, but she lassos cattle and everything.
So what is the film about?
It's about the history of the cowboy in America, but through the African American lens, because cowboy was originally a term for an enslaved cattle herder.
I didn't know that.
And
wow.
that term eventually was adopted by Hollywood and celebrated, but we didn't. That's not the true history of the cowboy. So the real American cowboy is an African American cattle herder.
Is this a short film or a feature film?
It's a feature documentary, and it's about the entire cattle herding culture in the African American community out west.
All right, now listen.
It's incredible.
Okay, but you're going to do me a favor.
Yes.
You promise me that you will not show that film while I'm hosting Film Forum on Thursday, right? You're going to make sure that I can see. I want to see this movie.
It's an incredible film, and it's about a part of history that we don't see, we don't hear about, and it's shining a light on a narrative that has for too long been quiet, been out of the
How the
spotlight.
West Was Won, ONE, directed by a female director.
Female director, cowgirl.
A cowgirl.
And an amazing filmmaker. So
I can't wait to see that. That's going to be fun. Now, we also have had movie stars here. Karen Allen. She did what was called The Tree, The Rock. What was it called? The name of
Tree, a Rock, a Cloud.
Tree, a Rock, and a Cloud, right? Yes. And that was based on a short book or a short story that she...
By Carson McCullers.
Yes, and she made that into a film. Are there any other notable names of folks that are in any of the films that we can talk about?
We have, there's a feature film called Alien Country, which has some key cast members from Yellowstone.
Oh!
Featured in it that people may recognize.
Yep. And is that a short film or a feature?
It's a feature comedy, sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit of a campy comedy, but it's got a lot of well-known faces in it, and people will enjoy it.
Let me ask you something. If you're going to get 7,000 films, right? Mm-hmm. You can't watch all 7,000 films yourself.
Of course not. That would take over a year.
Right. So how do you take the 7,000 films and whittle it down to 250? How does that happen?
Well, we have judges.
How many judges?
We have over 50 judges.
50 judges, yep.
Based all over the world. A lot of them are former filmmakers.
Yep.
But we also have former artists. We also have a lot of film professors that work with us. So it's people from all different backgrounds and perspectives.
And they're all voting on, like, they'll see, how many films will they see? Like maybe 10?
They'll watch about, over the course of the year, they'll watch about 200 each.
Each?
Yes.
Wow, and they'll vote. What kind of grading system do you do? They'll
vote on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yep. And it's so maybe 7 through 10 are recommendations to keep viewing?
And even higher. I mean, films that are rated 9 or 10 will
make the list.
Will at least be expedited to be viewed by others. Yes.
Yep, and that's like a short list.
Exactly.
And then from there, when do you like jump in and look at?
I'm a part of the whole process to be honest, but I'm after that first round is when I come in more. So yes.
And you're excited. Are you always like surprised by the films that you see?
Always. They don't stop blowing me away every year.
Wow.
It's really amazing.
And would you say that there's an equal amount of drama, comedy, sci-fi? Is it pretty evened out as far as what the audience can choose from?
Yes. The films are also blended. Sometimes, I mean, we have more lighter packages and dramatic packages, of course, but a lot of times we'll blend them all together because it's fun having a eclectic mix of different films.
I agree. Yeah. I'm really excited about it. And is there anything else that you want to share with the audience that they should know about?
Well, we have various other events happening. The Script Biz Film Forum, but we'll also have an acting workshop hosted by Erica Atwell, who's also going to be putting together the Women in Film panel for the Film Forum. So.
And Erica is an actress and a producer, and she was living in Los Angeles for a while and moved back to Rhode Island, like all smart people do. And so she's going to be actively involved in this.
Definitely, and she's done a lot of work in LA as she worked as the personal assistant for Paula Abdul for years too.
Oh wow!
And so she has a lot of great contacts and coming. It's people like that we're always happy to have come back to Rhode Island.
Yes, and bring their experience and their excellence.
Yes.
Oh, so that's good. So there'll be an acting classes. That's good. And that's acting for film, I would assume.
Acting for film.
Yeah. Anything else we should?
We'll be having a special evening event on Thursday night at the Biltmore at the Graduate Hotel.
Tell us.
And that's going to be in celebration of Richard Stanley's former film, Color Out of Space, but also his new film, which is Dunwich Horror. And he's going to be announcing some details about that.
Oh, wonderful.
New film.
A new film.
So some of you, if you're watching, look at that's a big party that'll be happening at the Graduate Hotel, and then there's going to be there's tons
surprises,
of
a lot of surprises,
tons of surprises. Yeah.
Well, it's kicking off. The 42nd annual Rhode Island International, prestigious Rhode Island International Film Festival is kicking off Tuesday night, August 6th, at the Providence Performing Arts Center in downtown Providence. We want everyone to attend. There's 3,500 seats, so there's no excuses. No one's going to get turned away. And it goes all week long. If you want to know more, it's RIIFilmfest.org.
Yes.
For more information, RIIFilmfest.org, www. Shawn, Quirk, thank you for doing all that you do to make Rhode Island special and artistic and exciting and film-friendly. And it's going to be a great week, and we hope everybody is inspired and joins us. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to it as well.
It's going to be fun.